So we've got somebody different again with Clare Wilkinson. Her business is Hot Horse, and she's the founder and MD of the business, which has now been going for over 20 years. Clare wanted to get involved because she thinks it's really important for young women to have access to a diverse range of work and different role models, and to be genuinely even inspired by women. So if you'd like to take a seat, we're going to do this as a interview. Thank you so much for doing this, Clare. You and I have known each other for a while.
We have.
Through business. So could you tell us who you are and how you got involved in what you're doing now?
Okay, I did a degree that was absolutely nothing to do with what I've ended up doing for my work. I was working, my first sort of proper job was working in really dull software sales, which I hated. I was offered what should have been my dream job at IBM, fantastic package, everything you're meant to want, and cried when I got the offer letter. So realised that actually it wasn't what I wanted. And I knew a guy from the pub who had set up one of the first web agencies in Brighton. So I just harassed him into giving me a job. He didn't have a job, so I went and worked with him for free to start with. And within sort of 5 months, I was their senior project manager. Worked there for 3 years and realised that I was pretty well running his company for him. So I thought I might as well actually just run my own company. So that's how I set up Hot Horse.
And what have you learnt along the way? How has it served you?
Well, I think we all kind of have a picture maybe in our late 20s of how our life's going to pan out. I had sort of thought that we might start a family 3 or 4 years in after setting up the business, which we did. And I had a set of twins, which was fabulous and hugely expensive. By that stage, my husband was one of the business partners, and the biggest thing of running your own business is flexibility and being able to make your own decisions. Childcare for twin babies for 3 days a week was just a little more than £1,000 a month. So Will and I were able to change our working hours. We didn't have to ask anyone. And we both worked 4 long days, which made it affordable. So that was the flexibility theme continues. We decided to go again, and in the space of 3 years ended up with 4 children because I had a second set of twins. So it was quite a dramatic change from not really, we had wanted 4 children. My family teased me that it's the only efficient thing I've ever done. And again, it's flexibility. You know, it was quite a crazy time, and I was able to carry on working really easily. I've always worked. I've always been able to earn money, but I was able to do it on my terms. So I've always taken my lunch at 3 o'clock, so I've always been able to collect my kids from school when they were little and wanted me to. And that flexibility, the big thing all the way through, as it has turned out, 2 of my children have got quite significant special needs. And to be honest, if I had a job, I'd have been sacked. At one point, I was spending 2 hours a day on the phone, trying to keep my son in school, sorting out funding. It takes up a lot of time, and even the most understanding employer would not have been able to give me that much time. But I've always been able to carry on working full-time, but working hours that I chose to.
So why would you say that women should start a business in the way that follow your trail?
I think when I set up my business, there were 2 really big drivers of what success are, which is you make a lot of money and you grow your business bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is the mark of success, and having a really nice car. And we did grow. Neither of us liked having lots of staff. We weren't particularly good or natural managers. I just expected people to come to work and work hard and go away and not annoy me, which isn't a particularly good management style. And we just realised that actually that didn't work for us. So we totally changed how we run the business. We actually have a team of about 15 people that we work with, but they're all disparate. So one of my developers is in Cyprus, 2 of my developers are in Scotland. And so again, it's about flexibility, and I think the industry that I'm in is really interesting. It changes a lot, and there are a lot of women leading companies in my industry, because it's actually, it's 20 years-ish, but it's a relatively new industry, and it's really normal for women to be leading teams in the work that I do. So there doesn't seem to be the same kind of glass ceiling that there is in other areas of technology.
Brilliant, that's really fantastic, and thank you so much for sharing your story.
You're very welcome.
Right. Over to you, Clare.